Welcome once again to Dysfunctional Channel. I am your host, Jesus Figueroa at Dysfunctional of Dysfunctional.com, and today I'm going to get the opportunity to chat with the American Fighter star, George Kosturos. Check out the interview.
Well, congratulations on this movie. It was fantastic. I watched it 2 nights ago, and I'm still in astonishment of how good it is. It's a complex movie. It's not just a fighting movie. There is personal struggle in this. How was it to play a character like this very complex fighter?
It was a lot of fun. It was challenging in its own way. I've played this character before in the movie American Wrestler, which is the prequel to American Fighter, and this film sort of took on a new life for the character of Ali, and it showed a darker, more grittier side, a more desperate side, and it was very challenging, but a lot of fun, and ultimately one of my favorite movies I've ever done.
There is the struggle with family. There's a struggle with your personal life. There's school. There's fighting. Which aspect of it was more difficult to portray?
I think that the fighting was the hardest because that was the newest for me. I'd never really been a fighter before, and so I had to do a lot of training for the role. I really wanted to do all of my own stunts in the film, and so the stunt double that they actually hired for me trained me so that I was just as good as him for the stunts, so that we didn't have to use him, which was so cool of him to do. And that was a lot of work, but I think it all turned out really well. A lot of people thought I was a real fighter, and they're like, "How long have you been fighting?" And I said, "Oh, just 2 months for the movie, not that long." So I think it all turned out pretty good.
Mm-hmm. The mindset of becoming a fighter, how difficult was it to get that passion that fighters have to have in order to put their entire self into this type of career, I guess?
Totally, yeah. I have a whole new respect for fighters. The way they give themselves to their sport. Other sports, I've played my whole life, basketball, football, soccer, and all those sports, you do give your all, you do give your heart, but fighting's a whole nother level. You give your body, you give your face, you give your hands, you give your feet, you give everything you can. And I just have a whole new respect for fighters, and I think they're the toughest athletes in the world.
Definitely. Training. What was the hardest part of training? What new regimen did you have to take on?
The hardest part for me was gaining 20 pounds. I had to gain 20 pounds for the role. And ironically, the trainers I was working with put me on a plant-based diet. It's hard to believe sometimes. Like, I'm going to be eating plants, but it totally worked. And I gained 20 pounds.
Can we repeat? Your audio is bad.
What's that?
Your audio is very low. Yes.
I must have been covering the mic. I'm sorry, guys. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was covering with my hand. I'm sorry about that. Which question did you want me to say again?
That final question about what new regimen you had to take in order to.
Great. So yeah, the hardest part of the new regimen was the diet. The trainers I was working with, they put me on this plant-based diet, which was just eating plants, which was hard to believe that I could gain weight eating vegetables and plants and broccoli, but lo and behold, I gained about 20 pounds in 2 months, and I was in the best shape of my life, and I had more energy than ever. So sticking to that diet was the most challenging part of the training, but it definitely paid off.
Your supporting cast is amazing. What was it like to work with actors like Tommy Flanagan?
Tommy Flanagan was so cool. He's such an intimidating guy, on screen and even in person. He's tall, he's big, and he's got that glare and that Glasgow smile, and he can be very intimidating, but he's actually the nicest and the funniest guy on set, and full of jokes between scenes, and he was a lot of fun to work with. So although he always plays the villain, he's one of the nicest guys. And my other co-star, Sean Patrick Flannery, was great to work with. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and so it was really cool to learn from him on set, on and off camera. And then my other two co-stars, Brian Craig and Allison Page, were phenomenal, both who were friends of mine before the movie. And it was just a pleasure to be working with them. And I think Brian and I's friendship really played well on the screen, as did Allison and my relationship.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on this. It's an amazing project. I hope it gets a good audience, and best of luck on everything that you have going for you.
Cool. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Desperate for cash to save his deathly ill mother, college wrestler Ali, played by George Kosturos, enters the hidden world of underground fighting. Ali shows promise, but he lacks skill and gets beaten bloody. Duke, played by Sean Patrick Flannery, a troubled handler, takes pity on the boy and trains him to be a fierce competitor. But is it enough to make Ali a winner? American Fighter is based on a true story. This gritty action tale also stars Tommy Flanagan. Check out more of my stuff at thisfunktional.com. Follow me on social media at Thisfunktional on Twitter, Thisfunktional LA on Facebook, Thisfunktional on Instagram, Thisfunktional on Snapchat. Check out more of my videos here on youtube.com/Thisfunktional. Check out my gaming videos on twitch.com/Thisfunktional. And have a good one, guys.